sometimes what I like to use in yoga classes is like just a reminder in the middle of class, what are you saying to yourself right now? And a lot of times you'll just hear like this big sigh where it's like, oh yeah, I was kind of stuck at the lower realm of like, how do I look physically? How are my $200 yoga pants doing in this class? Take it up a notch, like let your soul lead, because your soul doesn't care what pants you have on.
Welcome back to Chakra Free Radio. In today's episode, we're going to be discussing certain aspects of yoga. And one of the more remarkable developments over the last 50 years has been the huge explosion in yoga within Western culture. There are yoga studios all over the place. Yoga pants are a part of daily fashion wear. And now there's millions of people practicing yoga on a daily basis. And yoga is a broad field, and there's a lot to explore within it. And given the confines of a relatively short episode, we can't touch on everything about yoga. However, there are certain deeper aspects to yoga as a practice which may be getting lost within the kind of commercialization of yoga as it stands today. And so our goal with this episode is just to expand upon some of those deeper aspects of yoga, and maybe for those of you out there, just make you aware of what some of the long-term benefits and goals are from a yoga practice. So first off, I'd like to introduce our guest, Ann Reddy. We've asked Ann to join us today for a couple of big reasons. So first of all, she's trained as a yoga instructor, also a longtime practitioner of yoga, also a regular meditator, and familiar with both Hindu meditation practices as well as some of the Jewish elements of meditation. And last, she also has a busy work career and understands the challenges of trying to balance a yoga practice with the complexities and issues that we all deal with on a daily basis with our careers. And just full disclosure here, we do have a pre-existing relationship. We happen to be married. So with that, Ann, thank you for joining us.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. So Annie and I both practice yoga in different forms. Ray, you don't. So I'm curious, when you hear the word yoga, what's the first thing that pops into your head?
People sitting on the floor and going like this. And then, I've heard about hot yoga and stuff. I know a couple of friends that do that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just think about people just honing in and just like zoning out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever practiced yoga in any form, or?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No.
What do your friends say about the yoga they take?
They like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they said it's extremely hot. But like I've always thought that yoga was like you were meant to be flexible and all that.
Yeah.
I'm not flexible.
Well, you don't have to be.
Yeah.
That's a misconception.
I think that's why I never like even got into it or whatever.
Yeah.
Thought it was like ballerinas and people like that doing it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Gymnasts.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But,
I could see that. Yeah. That's unfortunate, but I could see that.
But recently Gopal told me that yoga could be just stilling of the mind, just chilling there.
Yeah. Well, it's a good point. Yeah. So there's what's considered the standard textbook in yoga. It's called the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, written by or compiled or composed by Sage Patanjali millennia ago, and widely credited as kind of the standard textbook for most yogic schools. And in the Yoga Sutras, up front, it's actually the second verse of the Yoga Sutras. Patanjali defines yoga as the stilling of the mind's fluctuations. So this is the standardized textbook defining yoga as the stilling of the mind's fluctuations. And within yoga, there's obviously a lot of practices, whether it's physical movements or positionings. But I think it's important to note here that the goal of all of those exercises is to make it easier for your mind to be stilled. So we want to just make that kind of clear up front that the goal is to attain stillness of the mind.
Yeah, that it's not really the physicality, like you were saying, Ray. It's not the flexibility. It's not the strength. Doesn't matter if it's hot or cold. It's really just how are you relating to your mind? How are you finding calm through the practice?
Yeah. And so I'm curious, like what actually got you started as a yoga teacher?
Well, the physical aspect. Yeah, we had just had our second baby and my lower back was hurting, and I heard that yoga could be helpful. Now, I'd practiced yoga before, like since high school, on and off. So I went for a very physical reason, pain, which is mental and physical. And what I found was that my pain was diminishing. And then as I continued to practice, what I realized was I was feeling better on a level that I like couldn't really explain. It didn't have to do with physically how I was feeling as much as it did. I felt uplifted. I felt calmer after yoga classes. And that's what kept me coming back.
Right.
So it started physical. It started as an exercise.
Yeah. And this is now like 8 years of teaching yoga.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I started practicing regularly, like every single week in 2016.
Yeah.
So that's how long I've been going to the same format of yoga.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, I mean, and we've talked about it some, but just like what to you has been the biggest impact of it? I mean, this is 8 years of practice now.
Yeah.
On you.
I think, like I said, it's physical in the sense that I can release whatever energy I'm holding. I feel like our bodies hold a lot. Our bodies hold pain. Our bodies hold emotion. Like if I've had a rough day at work or something, it's a place where I go and I literally lose track of time. I think I've said this to you. I mean, obviously, Gopal and I are married, so he's heard some of this before through our lives together. Mm-hmm. But it's like the only place in my life where I forget I have a job. Mm-hmm. I don't have my cell phone. It's an hour just breathing, moving. Nothing else is coming at you. And it's amazing to me how quickly that time goes and how much I forget and am able to also appreciate, just of my being there and being relaxed. It's the only place where I lose track of time.
Yeah. And you've worked with a lot of students over the years. I mean, is there anything that you would say is maybe just an important starting point or something you would want anyone out there who's considering practicing yoga? Is there something that they should know before they get started?
Oh, there's nothing to know. Just come. Just right. Like, I think the misconception, like you were saying, Ray, is, I should be more flexible, or maybe even, I'll start exercising first so I can eventually get to yoga. And that is just not true. Anyone can do yoga at any point. And I think just you'll learn about yourself. It's really like a practice of self-acceptance and a practice of letting, I say this all the time in class, but just letting your body talk to your mind and your mind talk to your body in like a realm of compassion. So there's no judgment. There's no need to look a certain way. There's no need to accomplish a certain pose. Just show up, breathe deeply, see what happens.
So if I came in and just sat there and just, use it as that.
Yeah.
Is that like suffice?
Totally cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Please do. Yeah.
I think you'd be the only one sitting quietly.
Yeah.
Everyone else.
Yeah, but then everyone else would be like, what's he got that I don't have? Like, that's cool. No, I think that's exactly it, is like we live in a world of competition and a world of noise. And when you come to yoga, I hope it's a space where people can like cut through the noise and stop the competition. It's really just about meeting yourself that day. So some days you're going to be able to like rock something cool, and some days you're going to sit on your mat or even lay down and just breathe deeply, and both are equally awesome.
Do people compete while doing yoga? Is it like competitive?
It's not supposed to be.
Yeah, like people are over there like, oh, you can't do this pose. People do that?
I mean,
have you seen it like while you're teaching a class?
Yeah, I've seen it teaching and taking. I've seen it where, I think that I think it's hard to turn that off. I wish it wasn't that way. One of my goals as a teacher is to set up the room so it's not that way. But it's hard, right? Because you're looking around and you're like, wait, why does that person have their leg behind their head and I can barely get mine up to my knee, or to my hip, like whatever it is. Unfortunately, I think we're used to that, right? Like we're constantly measuring ourselves. And so it's hard to shake that. But I try my hardest to create a space where no one feels that way.
Yeah.
But like you see it on Instagram, right? Or you see it even, you go to a yoga studio's website and the yoga teachers aren't sitting there. Like you said, right? They're not.
Yeah.
That's not the picture, right? It's got to be something cool. Like it has to be something catchy. They have to have their leg behind their head or they got to be upside down at minimum, right? So it's like, what have we created here then?
Yeah.
We've created the competition. You come to my class, you'll be able to do that cool thing with your physical body.
Yeah.
But to me, it's missing the point.
Annie was joking. She had a class recently where somebody was filming themselves in the class.
Oh, that happens a lot.
Yeah.
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 TikTok.
Yeah, exactly. Or afterwards, everyone does like the cute photo, like accomplish this, or people will set it up and try and do something tricky. I mean, you got to sell, I guess.
Yeah. She thought it might be an OnlyFans appearance.
Too much sharing.
Yeah, no, I just think like when I talk to, like Gopal about like, just like what it's actually used for, I think like that's like the opposite. Like, competing. Like I don't think you're supposed to compete while doing yoga.
Definitely not.
Yeah, I mean, I personally like wouldn't be there for that. Would I look at somebody and be like, oh, well, that's cool? But I know for a fact I can't do that. Like there's not an ounce of me that's like, yeah, I'm gonna put my leg over my, like, no. Like I know it's like, there's no matter how much weight I lose, I don't think it's gonna be able to bend that way. And I'm okay with that.
And it doesn't have to. Like I think the point of the postures, the point of the poses is to get some energy out, to like release some of the tension or whatever you're holding on to, self-judgment, a tough day, someone cut you off in traffic, whatever it is, it's like just a movement of energy. So the leg doesn't have to go behind the head. You don't have to fold completely over. Just moving around a little, getting your body like loosened up a little will release that energy. And then you can move away from the competition, because I think it's the way we're firing right now, like the way that we're so ready for a competitive moment. That is the problem that brings competition into yoga. I don't think it's inherently in yoga.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's worth mentioning, the importance of not pushing yourself too hard in any of these postures. I personally know some people who've really messed up knees and backs through just pushing their body too hard.
Yeah.
And it's really not at all what the practices were intended for.
Yeah, no. And there are yogic texts that explain that there are levels of practices and it's not meant to be like you're not advanced yet. It's just meant to be you are turning your energy. You are moving towards concentration. And if you don't have the concentration or the mind-body connection, then don't try one of these more advanced poses. You can hurt yourself physically.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, so I'm curious on your honest take on the $200 yoga pants. Because, I mean, they're everywhere now. I mean, it's like a third of the people walking down the street in Boston are in yoga pants.
Yeah, I don't own any.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I think it's fashion. Like, I think you buy the yoga pants, you're not necessarily going to yoga class in them. But I think it's kind of back to what Ray was saying. It leads us back, not necessarily to competition, but just this physical focus. I'm going to wear these $200 yoga pants because I care how I look when I'm doing yoga. And again, it's just, that's not the point. If you buy the $200 yoga pants and it makes you treat your body with more respect or you speak kinder to yourself, cool, fine. But you really could do yoga in your pajamas. Mm-hmm. You don't need pants. Like, well, you should wear pants.
Yeah.
You don't need $200 pants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, you said it before, but it's like, look good, feel good, play good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, obviously you're not playing like a active sport, but I think that's just how people look at it sometimes. Me personally, I would never buy $150 jacket or anything.
Yeah, but you would buy the shoes, man. as we've talked about.
I mean, old
like-
Ray, old Ray, yeah. I'm telling you, I'm not spending anything over 100.
New Ray, not yet.
Yeah.
But what, you play baseball, so like, what about a mitt? What if a mitt costs like 150? Just a little head nod.
Yeah. I mean, my old glove was like $250. Like,
Okay.
I just bought a new glove because I lost my old glove like that I had like since I was a child.
Yeah.
And it was my favorite glove. And my friend like got into a car crash and like it was in the trunk and like he couldn't retrieve any of his things. And I said, oh well, thanks. But I love that glove.
Oh, that stinks.
But I recently got a new one last year. It was only $100 though. Like I'm not playing no more. I'm just using it for practice with the kids.
Yeah.
So like I don't need anything too fancy. I just need something that's, that I could loosen up over the years. You know what I mean?
I would say the exact same thing about yoga pants.
Yeah.
You don't need anything too fancy. You do need to be comfortable.
You could thrift yoga pants.
Yeah.
I'm saying you could.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot of built up sweat in those thrifted pants.
Hey, man.
God knows the truth. I was just thinking that. I was like, no one wants.
I mean, that's what people do now. They thrift.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and as somebody who's studied yoga extensively, there's obviously a lot of health benefits. I mean, is there anything you want to share with our audience in terms of like what you think the most important health benefits are from a yoga practice?
That's a cool question. From the way that I felt it and the way that I understand it, it's sort of like a holistic health. So you breathe deeper, you're more conscious of how you're breathing. You have a little bit better concentration. So when something kind of flies at you, it's less reactive and more of, okay, let me take a minute, think about this. And then physically, I have to say there have been benefits for me. I don't have that lower back pain. Sometimes when I have a pain, I'll go take a specific type of class and it goes away. Like that's been really cool. And then I think just sort of like a general confidence happens. Does not matter your physical appearance, but I have seen in students over the years just like a really cool self-acceptance is like the best way to explain it, where you're just really proud of yourself for sticking with a practice for so long and you acknowledge that it's giving your body something. And that part's really neat.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I feel like to some extent, even with a lot of professional teams now, the stretching exercises are getting closer and closer to a lot of yogic exercises. Like I know the Patriots, used to integrate a lot of Pilates work into their, so I think
we get a lot of like marathon runners, like Boston, people love to run. It is great cross training. It really is great to stretch out certain parts of your body, but also the type of yoga that I teach is like high intensity and combines weightlifting and other exercises, like strength-based exercises. And so to get people from different sports and, different lifestyles in, it's great cross-training. It'll just sort of work all these muscles that you are not working when you're running or haven't worked before.
I want to turn back to the Yoga Sutras and, again, this concept of the stilling of the mind. And the Yoga Sutras has an extensive section on it dealing with what's referred to as samadhi, or the superconscious state. And again, this is something that any human can achieve with the correct level of work and effort to attain that state. But to attain samadhi does require a complete stilling of the mind's fluctuations. I think it's worth emphasizing here again that yogic practices may help remove some of the agitation out of the physical body, which would allow one to move closer to stillness.
Yeah, I think that is the hardest part because for me, the trick is I really enjoy that hour. I really enjoy that yoga class. I have to take it off my mat. The trick is like taking it away with me so that like when the kids do something wonky, I don't react immediately, so I think that's the hardest part is it's not just the physicality and stilling your mind in that class. It's then when you exit the studio and someone drops a coffee on your favorite shoes, or what life happens, can you keep that, or a sliver of that? Can you keep the calm for the rest of the day or the week? Can you take it with you?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's always the tough thing, right? Is carrying it into daily life.
I wish I could do that.
Yeah. It's really hard.
Yeah.
It's super hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody's perfect.
Do you, before like actually like learning yoga, you didn't like meditate or do any of that at all?
I didn't meditate. No. That wasn't like part of my childhood or anything.
Yeah.
But I do find that the meditation really helps my yoga practice and vice versa. I also pray a lot, and I find my meditation and my prayer intertwine. And so one of the things that I started doing when I started teaching yoga was, before I teach, I drive to the studio, I sit in the car, I turn off everything, and I pray. I say the same 3 things to myself every single time, and I give thanks to the universe that I'm able to like share this amazing practice with people. And sometimes I think people forget that even just taking 30 seconds before you do something can really just like change your mindset. With that said, I don't pray before I go to work. So it's like I go and I sit in front of my computer, and I think about this so many times, like halfway through work, where I'm like, wait, why do I apply that only to yoga? I find that weird.
I think that's what you enjoy.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us enjoy work.
I should try it though.
Yeah.
Would you do it? Would you ever like, it doesn't have to be prayer. We don't have to be weird like me, but like, would you ever just like take 30 seconds before you walked into the shop to just be like, just checking. What would stop you? I'm just curious.
I know that eventually I'm gonna get triggered.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like, as much as like, you know, like I am human, right? Like I do have like, sometimes have a positive mindset. Most of the time it's negative, but like when I'm about to like, it's funny because like there's just like days where you wake up on the right side of the bed, and there's days where you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, right? And then just like during that day, I just know something's just gonna make me angry. And it's maybe a customer, maybe somebody's like interaction, it may be like an employee. But like whenever I'm about to have that, I'd be like, what would Gopal do? Like recently I'd be like, because Gopal, he'd be telling me like, or he'll like tell us is like just, you know, do good as you want, you know, people to do unto you or whatever. And I really like, people really do be testing.
Yeah.
Like people really like, it's just like, why did you like, it'd be like the simplest thing for me. Somebody coming in and I say hi and you don't say hi. It'd be like, you just made the interaction weird, because now I don't want to serve you.
Yeah.
Now I don't even want to talk to you. I don't even want to say have a nice day. Because it's like, all you have to do is just say hi back.
Yeah.
Especially when I extended the hi. You know what I mean? I didn't say hi, welcome to the establishment. I said, hi, how are you doing? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. You know, listen, I seriously, I think anyone working in customer facing jobs is a form of yoga. Seriously.
You think?
Yes.
Yeah. Now,
yes.
If you're able to make it selfless, right? And I'm saying it's easy for me to say do unto others as you would have them do unto you, because I don't have to deal with a lot of people in my daily life. You know, for you, it's a very different, like you're confronted with it. Like to me, I mean, that's like, you know, I mean, how many customers a day come through the shop?
I mean, anywhere from like, I mean, winter and summertime are 2 different ball games.
Yeah.
But wintertime probably like the most, like maybe 85.
Right.
Summertime would be like 200, 300.
Yeah.
Whoa.
A day.
Yeah. But that's like, I mean, you have 100 to 300 people a day that you can have like a huge, like you may not think it's a big deal, but you can have a big impact on their life.
Well, I mean, yeah, because
if
everybody knows, like, ice cream's supposed to be happy.
Yeah.
It's the sweet treat, you know what I mean? That's how people like treat it or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you're supposed to like, that's that craving that more often than not people love. So
even just saying hi, like you opened the door. Okay. So they didn't reply. Maybe they're having a tough day.
Yeah.
You know, maybe something happened to them, but like, even just that, you've already extended this like small gift of kindness, and you did your thing. Like that is yoga, welcoming everyone in exactly as they are.
Yeah. No, and on this point, so in the Bhagavad Gita, which discusses yoga extensively, there are various forms of yoga that are discussed, and we've talked about the physical postures, and there's also meditation as a form of yoga. One of the paths of yoga that's stressed by Krishna in the Gita is the path of selfless work.
Yeah.
Right. So to just work for the sake of others without thinking about what you get out of it. Like that, this is defined by Krishna in the Gita as a form of yoga, right? So I think, again, there's this perception out there, if I'm not doing these elaborate postures, or if I'm not able to sit and hold my breath for 3 minutes, that I'm not practicing yoga. In truth, if you are working selflessly for others, that is defined as karma yoga. So it's work, it's action-based work. Right. So I think anyone out there, you don't have to do a bunch of postures in order to be a practicing yogi. If you're working selflessly for others, it's a form of yoga. And the benefit of that yoga is that it doesn't only benefit you, it benefits everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm probably not supposed to play favorites, but I think that's one of my favorite parts or ideas of what yoga could be, because anyone with enough practice can hold their breath. If you just carved out 8 hours of your day and that's all you focused on, you could get there pretty fast. Anyone can build strength. Anyone can develop flexibility. Those are practices and they come over time. But to give of yourself without any reward, I always think of doctors and nurses and therapists and social workers, community outreach. You're doing yoga all day, every day, and we just don't acknowledge it quite yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. The doctors get paid, though.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a valid point. Yeah. Yeah. But I think the point remains, though, that yoga was not really ever defined as in I think the limited way that we perceive it now. It's like if you're standing on your head, yes, that is a yoga posture, but that's not really the whole picture of it.
And designed to get you to sit down,
right,
and close your eyes and not be on your head,
right,
and go inward and hear what your soul is saying.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's different. It's just one pose.
One thing I do want to try one day. You ever watch the Anger Management?
No, I haven't seen it.
No.
With Adam Sandler and
I haven't seen it.
Basically, he's teaching him how to do. I forgot his name. Who's that guy's name? Adam Sandler's basically he has a lot of anger problems, but there's this point in the movie where they go to a monk sanctuary, and I always wanted to I don't know, try to do that, put on, they wear those
put on the robes.
Yeah, put on the robes, and I think they shave these certain ones that I've seen in the movie. They shave their heads.
Yeah,
and they just. It's a funny movie. You gotta watch it. It's probably going past a lot of people's head, but I do want to do that monk experience one day.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah, but the truth is that you can have a monk-like mentality without changing your robes or shaving your head, right?
Yeah, true.
The real test is mental detachment, to not be wrapped up. If you're
I don't think I could do it for a period of time.
Yeah.
I think I could do it for a day though.
Yeah, and I would say this: if it's one thing for a monk in a monastery to be calm all day, right? Because there's not a lot of reasons for them not to be calm.
Mm-hmm.
If you're at the ice cream shop and you stay calm with 70 angry customers, that's a different level of difficulty.
Yeah, I think I've only blown up one time, and I was pretty young. Yeah. Other than that, I save it and then I go into the freezer and I yell.
It's cold therapy and anger therapy. Yeah, I it makes me think of, in the Yoga Sutras, one of my favorite commentaries, which Gopal gave to me, is Swami Vivekananda. And there's one line that I always come back to, which is it is the greatest manifestation of power to be calm. And I always think about that because we think of power in our society as like strong, forceful action. But like you all are talking about, that is you. If there's an angry customer in front of you, that is you harnessing all the energy that's bubbling up for you. And instead of like lashing out or screaming in the freezer, you're using it for good, right? Like that is hard to turn it around inside of you and be like, maybe they're having a bad day.
Yeah.
How can I help you today? That's huge. That's a bigger energy spend and control than we recognize.
If I responded like that, though, they probably think I'm condescending.
Frozen
it's
smile.
true, man. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's like just like society in general. Like if you responded like that, like after they're yelling at you, they're gonna think that you're condescending.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be like that. It's like I'm just trying to be calm because I don't want to like throw this ice cream in your face. So
It's tricky.
yeah,
The world we live in is wicked tricky.
it's horrible.
It's an uplifting note.
Yeah. Well, I want to turn back, and you had experience at silent meditation retreats, and you've been practicing meditation now for a couple of years. Just curious on how you think, or your experience of as a meditator as it relates to your practice as a yoga teacher or yoga practitioner with the physical postures. What's been the linkage and what's been kind of the experience of doing both at the same time?
Yeah. So I've only done 2 retreats, one for Kriya Yoga, which is a specific format of meditation and yoga and breathing. And then I've done a Jewish mindfulness meditation retreat. So I've only done 2, but I do practice at home. I think I wouldn't have thought to pray or set my mindset before I teach if I hadn't started meditating. I think just carving a little bit of time out of my day to just sit and be with myself is really helpful. I'm not an expert. I don't want to call it failure, but I fail often, right? Like sometimes you sit down and instead of having this blissful, my mind sails away and I'm deep in breath and I'm having this great meditation session. Oftentimes it's just running through my task list over and over again or listening to the kids fight upstairs, or they're joking around and throwing a football or something, like whatever it is, that's what's happening. But I think it's important to try. So I think the thing I've learned the most is to just sit down, just try it. 5 minutes is better than 0 minutes. And one of the things after the silent retreat that I was just on, as we were leaving, they were trying to give us little tidbits of advice. And they were saying, you just learned a lot. It was about 5 days, maybe 3 days in full silence, and then 2 on either end to kind of get into it. They were saying you learned a lot, right? Like full silence was the coolest thing I've ever done. And I'm a very chatty person. I loved it. But they were saying like, that doesn't mean that you now go out and just teach or overshare. It's almost like this retaining of the knowledge and then living it. That's what they were saying, is like, we get it that you're pretty excited. You just learned a lot. A better avenue would be to live it. So that's also just like something to think about instead of, I'm not a meditation teacher. I don't have like a deep insight there.
Okay.
Would you ever go on a silent retreat?
I think so. I think I could do it.
Yeah. I think anyone can do it.
Yeah. We went to farm school when we were like really young. It was kind of like that.
Like really peaceful?
Yeah. Like we had each other in there, but like there was no phones.
Mm-hmm.
So we was just there with the farm. It was pretty fire, actually.
That's cool.
I want to do farm school like as an adult.
Yeah.
Like I milked a cow.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you like clean out chicken coops and stuff? Like what were your...
I think so.
Did you feel different being on the farm?
I'm trying to tap into those memories. I think so. I think it was just like, I don't know, like we we were just kids, you know what I mean? Like we were just like there vibing and I guess learning how to do all that stuff, like cleaning, like we cleaned up like pretty sure we cleaned up like stalls and stuff.
Yeah.
And we did all that stuff, but it was an experience. It was something that I probably would do now too.
That'd be cool.
I probably would, like, if I had kids, I'd make them go to farm school too. See how these guys live.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be good for you to be with animals and nature and stuff. Like we separate ourselves so much from nature. But Gopes, what would you say? You meditate way, maybe more than I do, but you have a nice, consistent schedule.
Yeah.
What would you say? Like, what have you learned?
So it's been kind of 4 years now of getting 4 years. Yeah. Generally anywhere from 2 to 3 hours a day. I'd say the first couple of years were pretty brutal, you know, just in terms of, I think we've become so conditioned to being mentally active all the time, you know, and especially in my career, I was in finance for a long time and, you know, the brain is always running, thinking about, oh, this is the next trade I should make, or, you know, this is the risk on the position I've got, or what, like, and you may think that you're able to segment your mind off, but in reality, it all kind of bleeds together. And so those first 2 years were a very, very brutal process of kind of smashing down a lot of neural pathways that had built up.
Whoa.
You know, and so now I think the first 2 years were very difficult. And, you know, you always read about people having these blissful experiences while meditating. And that didn't occur for me for the first 2 years. It was after 2 years that all of a sudden, I think it started to click where, you know, when you start to realize that the things you're worrying about on a day-to-day basis may not be as important as you think they are. You know, as those thoughts kind of recede, you know, it's easy to read yoga is the stilling of the mind's fluctuations. It's a lot harder to get there. And given how oversaturated our brains are, I think in some ways it's harder now than it was, say, 100, 200, 300 years ago. And so if there's anyone out there trying to engage in meditation practice and struggling, I would say just please be patient with it. And just remember the end goal is to really attain a state where the mind's fluctuations, you know, kind of think of it as like a volume knob, right? I think most of us run around with the volume knob turned up to 10 all the time. If you can just kind of slowly nudge it down over time and get those thought patterns under control. Now it's like it's a shocking thing for me how energizing like an hour and a half meditation session is. You know, before it would be like I'm struggling to stay awake and whatever. Now it's like after 90 minutes, you know, my nervous system is calmed down, thinking patterns are clear. Like it's great, you know, and we'll probably talk about this in maybe in more depth in another episode, but you know, I think for people out there, I think if you're able to make progress, I think there's a very, very valuable prize at the end of it.
Yeah. It's because there's a lot of distractions now.
Yeah.
I feel like there was no distraction. Oh, there's probably like their own distractions, like, you know, when they were like, you know, make whatever, like
1,000 years ago.
Yeah, like whatever the distraction one, there probably was distraction, like how we have distractions now. But remember when you made me listen to that thing?
Oh yeah, the Hemi-Sync track. Yeah.
Oh, that was kind of
like
cool.
That was kind of like meditation a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
But even with that, right? So I think it was like what, like 15 or 30?
30 minutes on that one. Yeah.
Like it was soothing, but like there is a part of me that cannot sit that long. Well, not sit that long, but like I can't turn off.
Yeah.
At the blink of the eye, and I think that's just a lot of us. I'm just like a regular person. You know, we're all regular, but like you guys practice this, right?
Yeah.
Even with that, like I couldn't like. I think it was like I got into like 5-7 minutes.
Yeah.
And then like I would look at my phone real quick.
Yeah.
And then I'd go back in, but like I can't, like I don't know why, like, and I think it's just because I haven't been able.
I think it takes practice, right? It's like anything. I mean, you know, the
it
more
was peaceful though, like hearing that sound, hearing the guy talk or whatever. Like, that was peaceful.
Yeah, and I think you know it's worth acknowledging. when you think about us as human beings, we do have, animal bodies, animal tendencies, and that survival mechanism, that survival instinct is hardwired in, right? And so, if you're living out, as a hunter-gatherer 4,000 years ago, you had to be alert and conscious at every moment because, there might be a predator out there that's coming to get you, right? Now, the reality is in our life today, that's not really the case, right? But because that hardwiring is there, we create, new points of tension, right? So is it really a life or death thing if a stock trade doesn't work for me? No, like it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, right? But in my mind, and especially when I was active in finance, that was like a life or death thing, right?
Yeah.
Because the pathway, that survival instinct is there. And I think a lot of what's the goal in these meditation practices is to turn that down, to realize that maybe there is something beyond you more than just having to survive as an animal.
Yeah.
And I think especially versus, you're saying they had distractions, 1,000, 2,000 years ago. Now, I don't think they had anything close to what we have now.
Oh, no.
Not with the phone, like you're saying, looking at your phone or, constant.
I think a lot of people's distractions is wanting to be successful, wanting to have money.
Yeah.
All those things too. Like, I can't tell you how many times, like, I'm up at night just, like, staring at my wife, trying to make sure, like, is she okay with the marriage,
Right.
Just like, it'd be like little things like that. And like, I want to give her the world, but sometimes, the world's too much to give.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, that stuff just like, I don't know. I think it would be like dishonest of like, I don't know, me telling people like, oh, you shouldn't think about that.
No.
Yeah.
And I totally understand. But, I think we tried, I think in a lot of ways we spend our whole life trying to avoid this. Yeah. But the truth is that these are all temporary things.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Literally at the end,
right.
We don't take no money. We don't take any of that stuff with us. So like,
yeah, and it's a big point of emphasis in a lot of scriptural texts. Yeah. And the more I've thought about it, the more I think we basically spend our whole lives running from that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, how much time have we spent as sports fans?
A lot.
Right? Yeah. Like, does it really mean anything in the end?
No.
Right.
It doesn't.
Right. But we spent huge portions of our life, being emotionally involved in these teams, playing one another. And it's all like a temporary little drama, right?
Yeah. But, I mean, I think, well, just for like certain people, like I think that's the way to connect with other people, though.
Yeah.
I mean, now that's the way I look at it. Like before, like I'd get, I'd get so like worked up, and now I'm just like, let's like baseball right now. Like the two people who I wanted the Red Sox to sign, they didn't sign. Right. But I love talking to like one of my friends. Like it's like me and him just like straight baseball talk. And like that's where like like when we haven't been able to like have a like in person like chilling chill, we're able to talk about baseball, and I feel like that's how we reconnect with each other.
Right.
But certain stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think your kindness, like the way that you just explained what keeps you up at night, like looking at Trinity or like just thinking about your life, I see that as a form of meditation. Do you know what I mean? Like that is so outside of yourself. All you want is like to do good or be good with your wife. Like that's really beautiful. So sometimes I think we need to cut ourselves some slack. Like I think as a society, we like to define things. This is meditation. I'm not meditating unless I'm sitting. I'm not meditating unless my eyes are closed. Like we create all these things around it. And the reality is I take that as a personal prayer or a personal moment of meditation where you're just looking at your wife being like, I'm going to do my best.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful, right? Like that is really moving,
Yeah. I'm not mushy. Yeah.
So the show is called Chakra Free Radio. So, if we're talking about yoga, I think we have to address the chakras a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's entirely, it would take a long time to really have a full discussion of it. I think maybe just a shorthand version of it is that according to yogic theory and yogic anatomy, there are psychic energy centers within the human body. Different schools have different numberings and different methodologies to identify them, but one of the more standard models is 7 chakras running up from the base of the spine up to the top of the head. And a big piece of what you're trying to do in many of the meditation practices is to raise your awareness from the lower centers, the lower chakras, which tend to be associated with what you might call kind of basic animal instincts. So food, sex, anything having to do with kind of manipulating the material world to suit your needs. The goal with a lot of meditation practices is to raise your awareness from those lower centers up towards the higher centers, especially in the heart and the forehead and the crown of the head. And you could think of that as you bring your awareness up to those higher centers, things like compassion for your fellow human being, empathy, kindness to others. Those are kind of generally more associated with the higher centers. It's a movie we watched with our child recently, the Wild Robot. And I thought it was an interesting movie because there's a lot of emphasis on the need to have the heart, for the heart to be a source of energy, right? Rather than just the head. And I think this is a big piece of yogic practice is to integrate the heart with the head, right? I think a lot of times there's people who are maybe excessively emotional, or there's people who are overly intellectual. They don't kind of blend the two together in a cohesive manner. And, I think it's important to remember that, to show compassion and kindness to your fellow human being is a form of yoga in and of itself.
Yeah. I think it's also, we've all experienced it. Like sometimes when you talk about chakras, it can be like, what is that? I don't fully understand. But for me, it's like, have you ever had butterflies in your stomach? Mm-hmm. I think that's an energy center being ignited. Have you ever said like, oh, the words are stuck in my throat? Or when I am about to cry, my throat closes. Mm-hmm. That's an energy center. Like those are things we use in our language, right? I have a broken heart. Like to me, it just shows how we're all feeling it. We're just not necessarily aware, like you said, Gopes, of like raising the energy up. Sometimes what I like to use in yoga classes is like just a reminder in the middle of class, what are you saying to yourself right now? And a lot of times you'll just hear like this big sigh where it's like, oh yeah, I was kind of stuck at the lower realm of like, how do I look physically? How are my $200 yoga pants doing in this class? Take it up a notch, like let your soul lead, because your soul doesn't care what pants you have on, and then you can start to see people smile at each other or be like we're in this together kind of thing. Yeah. But what do you think? Because like chakras, have you ever heard of that? Like, do you ever, like, what do you, obviously because Chakra Free Radio. Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like in your daily life, what do you think?
I never really I've like looked at them and I know like it's like you said, it starts from here all the way down. I know they're different colors, right?
Yeah.
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 And sounds, there's a sound to each one too. It's cool.
Yeah. It's everything that we already talk about already. Like I feel like they're all like, I feel like your soul, everything's interconnected.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Then you're already a yogi, right?
No.
No. Yeah, see, I disagree. I think you
too.
are.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah. I think you conduct yourself as a yogi, even if you're not practicing, meditation actively. I think your natural tendency is already, most of the way there. I think you're inherently a much calmer human being than I am.
I don't know about that, but I mean, I have empathy and sympathy.
Yeah.
I think that's just
There's a lot of people out there who don't. You know?
Yeah, I mean, is there times where like it slips? Of course, but for the most part, I think it's there. Is there anything that you say to yourself constantly when you're taking the class instead of teaching the class?
Oh, totally. Yeah, I'm like you said you were mushy, so I'm like a mush to myself. I'm totally cheesy. I'm always saying, you can do this. I'm always trying to speak really kindly to myself. I have a permanent leg injury in one of my legs. So my legs are different sizes, which impacts, how I do things and move. And I'm constantly like, I'll just like pat my leg or be like, we're trying. Like, that was good. Yeah. I have a lot of mantras. I use a lot of mantras that I say to myself. I'm constantly repeating, like, you're stronger than you think you are. One more breath. Can we do one more breath? And when you're holding a pose kind of thing. But also at the end of my practice, now I'm like giving away all the weird, cheesy things I do. Typically at the studio that I practice at, you kind of curl into a ball before you go into what's called Shavasana, where you lay completely flat and you try and meditate or just sort of lay with your eyes closed for a few minutes. When I curl up into my tiny ball, I actually kiss each knee. This is like how weird I am. I'm sorry. I kiss each knee and I give myself a hug and I tell myself that I love my physical body, because this is it. This is the body that carries my soul. So if I can't love the body that's holding my soul, then I'm really not going to like walk through life in the best way possible. Just like you, I'm not perfect. I'm constantly messing up. I'm constantly finding myself like angry, annoyed, irritated, whatever. But like in that moment, that's why yoga is so special to me, is like in that moment, I'm just taking a second to be like, as I walk through this life, I walk through in this body. So like, thank you. Mm-hmm. It's so cheesy, right?
No, that's a lot of people like, I mean, I really don't say that to myself that often. Like those words, like I really...
Have you ever? Right.
I don't. Sometimes I look at the mirror and be like,
oh. I know, right? Like, I think we all do. Like, I really think we all do. And sometimes that's part of my meditation practice, is to look at myself, look at my body. Sometimes I'll even just like put my hand on my belly and my hand on my heart and just be like, you're doing your best. And I love you for that. Yeah. Like, that's it.
I wish society taught that. Because I get it. Like, not everybody's the same. But a lot of people, like, I'm more down on myself than like you guys probably could ever be.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Like I hate when like people like you think like I think I want to be like like I'm I understand I'm big, but like you don't got to reiterate it. I get it, you know what I mean, but I don't
You're
think
hard on yourself already.
Like,
yeah. You know what I tell
people?
Do
I eat salad? Yes, I do. Yes, I can eat a salad. And it doesn't have to be drenched in, do I like fruit? Yes, I do. I also am Puerto Rican and Italian, so I like to eat, pork shoulder and chuletas and pasta and pizza, like,
Yeah. One thing that I really like to tell people, people who have taken my class will hear me say this all the time. Your inner voice is the voice you hear the most all day.
Yeah.
And that's like what Gopal was talking about. Can you at least turn the volume down? Yeah. And if you can't turn the volume down, can you at least be really nice? Like, could you at least would you say that to a friend? Do you like fruit? Like, would you say that to a friend? If you wouldn't, don't say it to yourself, right? Like, like treat yourself with as much respect as you possibly can. And try and give yourself as much love through that inner voice. Because I think we've all seen people walking around like they're angry. They're like furrowed on the sidewalk. And it's like, something's really upsetting you. But guess what? It's your inner voice. Yeah. You're replaying a story. You're replaying something negative you've said about yourself your whole life. And it's like something that this silent retreat kept saying to us, the one I went on recently. Part of the process is just catching yourself in that moment. So you don't even have to fix it, but just be like, whoa, that was mean. What I just said about the way I look, or what I just told myself about my job and how I'm doing, that was really mean.
Yeah.
So just like catching yourself in the moment and just being like, oh, I caught myself though. I'm not continuing that voice.
Yeah. Do you guys think the inner voice like it like what you say to yourself, it like comes to fruition, kind of.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So like if I'm constantly always down on myself, like, oh, you're always gonna be at whatever 60K in your life, you know what I mean? Like, is that something that like it just happens?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I think absolutely. I think you basically will create the reality that you keep suggesting to yourself is what you are,
okay.
I think that's true. I think,
It's like the energy too, right?
yeah,
All that.
it's creating an energy force. And I like that you said energy, because the way I think of it, it's not like toxic positivity, or how people are saying like, just think positively. It's not that. It's like, what's the energy behind it?
Yeah.
Why are you thinking that thought, right? Are you thinking that thought because you think you could be better? You think you could go for a higher thing, or you think you could play an extra hour of baseball a week and you're kind of annoyed with yourself that you're not? Like, I'm making up stuff. I'm not, not saying you, Ray, but you know what I mean? Like, why are you thinking that? And like peeling that back and putting the energy towards the solution, I think will generate a better solution.
Okay. We're getting here.
Yeah. Well, this has been a good discussion. So yeah. What, Annie, what's your choice of donation for the day?
Oh, yes. Thank you for donating. Yeah. I chose the Veterans Yoga Project, which is a group that offers yoga classes for veterans and their family members. And it also offers training for veterans to become yoga teachers. So I thought that was a really beautiful way to offer this practice to people who have given service to our country.
Yeah. And I think obviously for a lot of them dealing with very, very difficult traumatic experiences.
Incredibly challenging, yes.
Hopefully, some of these practices are able to help unlock some of those kind of deep-seated issues and help them clear them out.
Yeah, and shows our appreciation and gratitude for them.
Yeah. All right. Ray, you ready to do our honors?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That felt good. Mm-hmm. Almost fell asleep.
All right. Ray, you got our quote?
Yeah. So speaking of Wild Robot, there was a saying that I loved. And the quote for today is from Wild Robot. It's, sometimes hearts have their own conversations.
That's cool.
Yep. That's my biggest takeaway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great movie.
All right. Well, yeah. Well, thank you, Annie, for joining us.
Thanks for having me. This was fun.
And until next time, this is Chakra Free Radio signing off.